It's time to explore some more chapters in this incredible 1851 German encyclopedia of amazing illustrations, engravings of a variety of topics. I believe there's like 12 chapters, and I'm going to cover a few of them in this one, including this, Mythology and Religious Rites. So I'll show all 30 plates, and these things are incredible. And I mean, this must be Jainism, early Hinduism, incredible things that are just underground, thousands of religions that are thousands and thousands of years old, with stories that involve interactions between the gods and humanity, and so much can be learned from these. I absolutely love the Jainism and Hindu culture, and their iconography and their buildings were absolutely amazing. And there's a guy on YouTube, I'll include his name below after, and he does some amazing things and just shows some of these technologies and how some of these buildings may have been like machines that were like kinetic and worked perfectly and applied for different functions and different God knows what's, like sacred moments. So many different sacred moments in all these religions. Zoroastrianism, I believe they're talking about here, and some Sumerian, Mesopotamian stuff coming up. And this is one, the Egyptian with the zodiac in the middle, which I ended up drawing. There's some other kind of myth, looks like Greek or something there too, something else. And this is the one that I drew, the calendar, which was awesome. I loved drawing it. It came out great. We have a Tibetan one to match it soon, but these ancient cultures and their knowledge of the stars and their way of depicting it and their stories and their reality was just, or must have been, just absolutely phenomenal. Something that we can't fathom. No TV station has even come close. None of these aliens documentaries have ever come close. They were building these pyramids for a particular reason, because they were all over the place, and I believe so many of them were destroyed. And I believe there's one even in Aruba that's still under some brush, and Mount Haystack. If you've ever been to Aruba, it's kind of interesting. It almost like gives the place beautiful weather. A lot of ones in Turkey, I believe, have been found. Pyramids all over the place, and just look at these. They spend so much time creating art of these things, and were they just like doing stories and myths, or are these real people? Were there giants? Were there gods that we descended from, and that we maybe were created by? And who knows? Like, I really. Since I'm an artist, I like hearing all different kinds of just possibilities. So I can never settle on one. Maybe that's a fault, maybe that's a great thing. I kind of happen to like it because it pumps my imagination. But as an artist as well, I also just appreciate all of these imageries, all these masteries of form from all these ancient artists that were carved into incredible structures that are still here however many years later, whether it's thousands or whether it's only a few hundred, that some of these histories and cultures that we have been taught are thousands of years old could only be several hundreds. There's that old, that theory about the eyes and the ones, like representing different things, and different cultures had different calendars throughout time. So how do we know they didn't just switch it at one point? They could have done anything at any point in time. Up could be down, north could be south, east could be west, who knows? But these cultures had a mastery of a lot of that stuff, and definitely some myths, but they might have been, messing with hybrids as well back then. I'm sure they figured out genetic just mutations and different diversities from plants, and I'm sure that inevitably, like all cultures, would probably progress to creating humans and trying to make better and better things, and these hybrids are just always apparent, and they're definitely symbolic. And maybe the animals we all came from one source. We all split at one point. We're all just different little tiny reflections of what these ancients were, or what they were capable of, what they knew, what they dreamed about. I can't even imagine what any part of their reality in their daily life could have possibly been, just looking at these and the way they were able to create these buildings, and the way they just really didn't care about anything that we in our modern generation tend to waste our times thinking about. It seems like, and it's just judging by the art, but it seems like they just had different priorities, and they involved towards the common good, being creative, being spiritual, seeking God, seeking enlightenment, maybe attaining nirvana, attaining a rainbow body, who knows? but there were a lot of different ones, and they all had access to different types of mushrooms, different types of drinks and brews and fermentation processes that could get you intoxicated, potentially get you in touch with a divine in an entirely another realm. And I am a firm believer as well that the ancients were in contact with these other realms. They were able to go into those places where DMT can take you, or ayahuasca takes all these people who end up trying it. And you know, there's another realm of reality out there, and it's impossible to ignore, and it's definitely impossible to think that these guys didn't acknowledge it in the past. And this section is really just about like fine art and different things that they've found throughout time. It seems like different forms, different structures, different incredible reference for artists all over the place. And the way they used to incorporate sculpture into altars and different places of worship is so important. And again, whenever people think about like imagine a heaven or something, you almost really imagine the ancient technology with the ancient architecture with the buildings of columns and magnificent structures and different things from ancient Hindu, you know, that are just pure mastery, total symmetry, all different kinds of things, like catacombs, like what they can't even imagine what lies under America, inside America, the underground tunnels, the underground cities that we have known nothing about, whatever is in the Grand Canyon. There's definitely an ancient culture from the Grand Canyon that was hidden, and that if anyone that's ever driven through Monument Valley, you know that you're either like in the bottom of some ancient ocean or something, or you are seeing like some crazy things that have been melted, or something's happened to them, destroyed, just to the point of oblivion. And this is actually School of Athens, which I'm drawing a new version of, School of Tartaria, and I think you all will love it. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be incredible. But all these other things, so much inspiration. The church had a lot of inspiration in the arts, and they were paying really well, and that's where artists will tend to go. You know, they need to survive while being able to satisfy their own creative urges and needs, and it's a balance that is very, actually not as easy as it would sound. Definitely not. It's definitely tough, but it's worth it the whole way. And being able to create and draw inspiration from these older books and these ancient cultures, and these older books as representations of these ancient cultures, and the way they pair them and the way they think about stuff is really amazing. And these are just great, incredible book for artists. I recommend that every artist check this out. Even if you're not an artist, you want to learn how to try and draw something, check this out again in greater detail. The forms, the proportions that they talk about are all just very excellent. This is just like an entire great book found on archive.org, and I recommend breezing through that. You will find what you are destined to find every time you look, and just incredible stuff. Our past was so beautiful, and this is amazing with all the different languages. Definitely take a closer look at this. Different alphabets, different languages throughout time. This is an incredible reference that I am shocked exists, and it's just so good and perfect on 2 pages, so complete, so compact, and just amazing. Like their buildings, immaculate. They did everything just right on point. None of this dilly-dally, none of this flash, none of this like just whatever. Just to the point. And their language, I bet, was so beautiful to hear them speak. The people that were able to create this and exist during that time, I bet they just had an eloquence about them, and just a mastery about them that was so good. And this section's really cool too. Mathematics and astronomy. Got a lot of different things here with the solids, the geometric platonic solids, from the dodecahedron all the way, icosahedron. This is amazing. All different kinds of radiuses, different kinds of proportions, different ratios, different amazing things. Phi in there, the golden ratio, just chilling. This is always awesome too. The different shapes that ended up leading, kind of morphing to the buildings, and all kinds of different ways of measuring things, all the natural ways, none of the digital kind of things now that they have. You just punch in a couple codes and all of a sudden your telescope takes you wherever. The astrolabe, all the different phases of the Earth and Sun as told by this particular way. You know, I'm not totally sure. I will never be totally sure. I hope someday we do discover the exact truth of our reality, but there are several ways that can scientifically be looked at, as if we're on a sphere or if we're not on a sphere, or if we're on a massive sphere, whether it's flat or whether it's round. And I don't think the numbers add up for it being as round as they say it is. I think they lie through their teeth about the nature of our universe. But I also just am not totally positive, because it could be, like the Jainism says, 7 billion miles wide, or 7 billion miles high, or it could be something totally different too. It could be on a turtle's back. Who knows? But these are amazing star charts, moon maps from back then, 1851, because they guaranteed had lenses and telescopes and different things. There's no way around it. They had cameras, all different kinds of things that could do different things in the past that we are told they never had. Steam power, engine, different natural processes they definitely figured out. If we figured it out, chances are they did. They just may not have taken it to as superficial of a level as we have. It was all probably more natural and kinetic and beautiful. And this is one of the next sections I'll go into next time. This is too many plates for here, but the natural sciences, it's an awesome section. Different airships, different shells, all kinds of stuff. So stay tuned for that, and definitely check out the link below and explore the book yourself. I really believe that everybody has the potential to be an artist and a musician. That's why everybody loves art of some form. Everybody loves music of some form. And if they were capable or had the desire to spend time dedicating to learning the craft, whether it's art or music or any really creative outlet, then I think everybody is capable of mastering it and becoming amazing in their own perfect way. And I encourage everybody to do it, and it really seems like these ancients were, like, whether, you know, whatever you're building, whatever field of sciences or explorations you're in, you were doing it in an artistic, symmetric, beautiful, structurally sound, amazingly perfect and immaculate way, in a system of doing things that really was frequency and radiation free, and just used the natural physics and atmosphere of the universe to power itself. So pretty amazing. And these are my two spirals. This one is a spirella, the other one was spirae, and just I figured I'd show these in connection with the golden ratio talking about earlier, which really inspired me and set me off on an incredible art path that incorporated so many different things. And I really feel like we are all students of life. Everybody is capable of learning, everybody is capable of being a teacher to someone else, and we just pile on this knowledge that's just waiting for you to tap into it, and your creative powers will unleash upon the world, and we will all get back to the mastery of living with the spirit in harmony with all things someday. And then just the magic of our minds will just be unleashed, and we'll use our full potential. Imagine what it's like. Probably looks ridiculous. Bless you all.